Imagine having the government in every household.
Work for a common purpose, a common North Star as a country.
We need to start with the younger generation and the education.
Right now we are in a technological era.
Let's make our young minds more curious every day.
Over the years, information and communication technology has brought significant changes in almost all aspects of people's lives, and its pace of growth is only escalating. Today, the world is connected socially and economically through technology. Although the country took its time to cautiously welcome ICT in the year 1999, in the span of 2 decades, Bhutan embraced and realized the importance of ICT and its potential.
Dari dulu television the internet gozuk nami di ngachara gyakap konfe joy taksen ngomachira imbe te dari che najin sulu ngina le labni seru television the internet nale nesol da lerim suna randa gyakap lo pemba da neba lasachira du te ne beule tende ngacha karage lejimbe ewapchidibe tadibe benidi namisami kache.
With the hopes to benefit the government and the people, the 4th Chukyalpo ushered in the era of the internet in the country. 20 years later, during the 14th convocation of the Royal University of Bhutan in May 2019, His Majesty the King shared his concerns about the dramatic changes brought about by the emerging technology, its scale of growth and scope, and the consequences of lagging behind. If we are not able to embrace and leverage technology, we will be invariably left behind.
E-commerce, Amazon, Alibaba, eBay, Flipkart, social media ki YouTube, Facebook, WhatsApp, WeChat, Instagram, Twitter, search engines, anything that you want to discover on your own, it's just the press of a button away. Sir. Google Dul, Yahoo, Baidu. In 2018 alone, consumers spent more than $2.8 trillion in online sales. Sir. Online shopping. Amazon, eBay, AliExpress. Facebook has over 2.5 billion active users. How are we using this to create jobs in Bhutan? How are we using this for education? How are we using this for good governance, for effective, timely, and efficient delivery of services to our people? How are we using this for private sector development and growth? How are we using this for accountability and transparency? Anzum sornang chumal. Ta dipaja, ta tarinaba torara technology sabthini gutsudel. Artificial intelligence, machine learning, blockchain, big data, IoT, Internet of Things, quantum computing, virtual reality, and augmented reality. Applications nampan nasube tundele. Tanibe goda ngarasan lame se tebelabil. Ta gyakab damli na lulashi yul. Ta ti maumpa ki nyatang ki loju imbal. Now I can tell you for certain that those countries who prepare for this change, gyakab laluchi, tani ha godebe. Godo gulera lachi lejimbe shizukna, dadibe, najunsu ti yukyusupe, jonda matutupe jindabachin, Tezumi gyakabsu lochutam kechinalu namesame chupte, namesame yaketaunla.
Technology has immense potential to boost quality and access to education, create jobs, ensure good governance with effective and efficient delivery of services, develop and grow the private sector, and enhance accountability and transparency.
Future development in the technology sector in Bhutan is going to be much faster, and also that is really going to help our country achieve our goals, for instance about the goal of self-reliance. So I think all these are very much in line with what we hope to achieve as a nation, and this can be possible if we harness the opportunities that the technology offers.
Realizing the huge opportunity that technology brings and guided by His Majesty's vision, the country has been moving towards becoming a self-reliant and technologically driven nation.
All the countries around the world, look at how things are changing now. Most of these changes are driven by changes in technologies, and that too technologies in the ICT sector. Technologies related to internet and computers, right? Talk about things like blockchain, cryptocurrency, and most recently Facebook has even changed the name of their parent company to Meta, and everybody is talking about metaverse. Things are changing very fast, and in line with that, I think for our country to develop further, for our economy to become stronger, I think to strengthen our capacity in the ICT sector and also to develop industry around it within Bhutan, and also be able to export ICT services, maybe even software development services, maybe cybersecurity services and things like that to outside, and build our economy around that. I think that's very important, and for that to achieve, we need to start with younger generation and the education.
The move towards ICTizing the country brings in something called the digital transformation.
Essentially, digital transformation is capitalizing on those advantages and changing how we do things. For example, if you look at how we used to interact with ourselves in the past, we had to do it physically. We had to get together. If you wanted to meet with your friend, you have to come to a common place. You wanted to have a meeting, you had to organize a physical space. Everybody had to come there at the same time, and then you have a meeting. Capabilities of making video calls and video conferencing. Now you actually can sit in your own office. You could be in Tashigong and actually have a meeting with somebody who's in Thimphu. And you don't actually have to spend time traveling, but you can actually have that meeting very easily. Working in the fields, have a problem, maybe some kind of plant disease or something like that, you would be able to get in touch with an expert who's in Thimphu and show them through your video what is the problem that's there on the ground and actually get expert advice.
Talking about using technology to transform the way we work, the Royal Government has been working on various projects to pursue this vision of digital transformation, including the Digital Drukgyal flagship program.
One, we've been focusing on expanding connectivity, trying to take connectivity to every citizen so that people find it affordable. We've also been looking at how government agencies provide services to citizens, trying to build domestic capabilities in this area so that we have much more sustainability in our investments. So we've been also focusing on how do we build competency in our citizens to take advantage of these online services. So digital literacy is one area that we've also been focusing on.
The Digital Drukgyal program aims to harness the power of ICT to transform Bhutan into a smart and inclusive society. The program will radically improve citizens' satisfaction of public services through end-to-end integrated online citizen services.
Because we can make it extremely easy for citizens to avail services from government, easier for citizens, as well as make it easier for government to deliver services to citizens. So our focus has largely been trying to address those requirements so that we can actually deliver services easily online.
The program will ensure that all schools will be provided with usable connectivity and empower teachers to leverage digital content to enhance teaching learning outcomes across the country through digital schools.
A lot of changes in terms of curriculum and also coding classes starting right from primary school.
The blueprint formula of IT is quite not harsh, I should say, but it's difficult to initiate by young brains. But however, from 6th grade they could properly maintain that balance which they need to know the coding or whatever it is been like taught to the new brains.
If IT is taught within school, you'll start thinking out of the box. Right now what you do is you show something in school, you just learn and you try to pass, but you never think that what if this happens, what if that happens, right? So IT is that way, right? Don't stop at one point. If you're satisfied with one delivery, you will always think that what if I had done this and it would have been better, right?
A major initiative will focus on improving the quality of health through the implementation of an electronic patient information system in all hospitals down to the district level, which is expected to enhance the quality of healthcare.
Electronic patient information system that is going to automate the whole healthcare system in the country. The automation of this healthcare system, we can see a lot of improvement in terms of healthcare service delivery. What it would mean for individual citizens is that right now when we go to hospital, we have to carry a lot of bundles of these papers. We don't have to carry that anymore. You can see your health records, your blood test results from the past, and all your past records will be visible to your doctor. It will only be visible to you and your doctor, your healthcare status. But once this is automated, the whole information, whole medical history will be there for the doctor to see on his or her computer screen, and then that way he will be able to give you better treatment, advise better medicines, better course of treatment. And at the same time, it will also hold the medical professionals like doctors more accountable.
One of the key players in ensuring a smooth transition to a digital Drukgyal is the telecommunications in the country.
We have to ensure that we keep improving our services to meet the demands of the country, meet the demands of all individual users also. So we have plans to deploy 5G in phases to the rest of the country after we are done with Thimphu and Paro. In parallel, we will also be looking at having 4G deployed to all the geogs of the country at least by 2023, end of 2023. I think connectivity is what is required to ensure that all these applications, all these digital initiatives can be put to proper use. If we do not have proper connectivity, then whatever digital initiatives you may put in place may not be really useful. That is what we feel. So we have to ensure that we provide the best of connectivity to ensure that there is digital initiatives are being properly implemented.
Through the newly developed Digital Drukgyal flagship program, the country now has a unique opportunity to accelerate digital inclusion and transformation, introduce the frontier technologies, and strive towards gross national happiness if planned and executed strategically.
Developing things using the new technologies, I think we will be always left behind. If you look at the countries worldwide, the countries that have advanced are those that have been good at the new technologies. We have to keep ourselves abreast with these technologies, not just as mere users of technology, but as creators or making some useful things out of these technologies. Then only I think we can move ahead. Otherwise, I think we may be risk being left behind. very much, and will not be able to achieve cherished goals like providing gainful employment opportunities to our youth, or maybe happier and more developed kind of a society.
With a clear focus to digitally transform the country, people can look forward to major changes, especially in how they avail services from the government. One of the major initiatives taken by the government is the National Digital Identity.
We've been working on a digital identity. This will enable citizens to securely identify themselves to government and provide the government the assurance with a high degree of confidence, say that that individual is in fact, who they claim to be online.
The National Digital Identity would give us a unique identity for every Bhutanese or a tourist or an immigrant to Bhutan. Individual can be identified in the cyberspace uniquely, which means that we can take services from the banks or service from telcos or from any other agencies online with just our mobile, with full 100% confidence that this is the person who he or she claims to be is getting the service of any of the utilities or service providers. So this will be a very interesting product, and I would say the most fundamental, if we may say, ICTization of our services.
The project will issue digital identities such as digital signature and biometric information to every individual. The users can then use their unique individual identity to authenticate while accessing online service.
You could imagine having the government in every household. Right now, if you need to avail services from government, or for that matter in any public institution, you would actually have to go physically to that office. You would have to present yourself as well as some kind of identity. Once we actually have all of these infrastructure and platforms in place, you could do that from the convenience of your home. Right now, regulatory requirements that the bank requires you to physically present yourself, provide a copy of your CID, etc. You wouldn't have to do that anymore. I mean, you would be able to open up a bank account by sitting at home as long as you have a smartphone and internet connectivity.
Something unique about the country's approach to technology is we are working towards it with curiosity and caution alike. Hence, the InnoTech department has adopted a motto that ensures credibility and security to the Bhutanese.
As we build systems, as we build technologies with values, we want to ensure that we have a talent pipeline that is also built together, because these companies and these ventures which solve problems of society nationally and internationally are sustained by Bhutanese workforce in the future. So one of the important aspects we look at is how do we link our universities to the InnoTech department's initiatives of some of the projects. Building tech with design and implementation and building systems. The other angle is to look at it from the policy aspect and strategy of technology aspect. The drone project, for example. So how do we use drone in the power systems, for example, or how do we use drones for delivery? We wouldn't want to buy drones from outside. How do we build a whole ecosystem of a drone industry? So we build a prototype of it, we build a use case of it, and after the use case and the minimum viable products are built, then we look at how to make it as a sustainable startup. And all these are being done in InnoTech department with a team of about 25 engineers and other graduates. And we hope that this will be the next generation of industries we can build in the future.
Digital transformation has brought about significant impact on Bhutan's traditional society and culture. It has had a major effect on culture, workforce practices, and training needs within a period of just over 15 years. The transformation has brought along with it positive and negative effects. However, the transition seems crucial.
We have value-based developers who develop these automation systems as humans and machines merge more and more together. Like we have merged with our phone so much, it's an extension of our brain in a way, because I don't remember any numbers of my friends today. So it's kind of working as a brain for me. So as we merge more with technology and it becomes a part of life, the people who build this technology has to have the values, and I think that's where our value as a nation, a value as a culture, what we have developed provides us that dimension to build technology with values. But the other dimension of values is also how do we consume the technology. I think the values from that perspective also.
While there are more technological capabilities at our fingertips than even before, the path forward isn't always easy. Digital schools being one of the 8 components under the Digital Rukyu flagship program, special focus has been given to introduce and integrate ICT in schools.
Have we integrated technology in the teaching and learning process, or are we only using technology in teaching and learning process? I think that's an important question to ask. But then the question is like, how do we integrate technology in teaching and learning process? Then we are talking about how do I use AR, VR, for example, which is no longer very expensive, very affordable, very achievable. But how do we use AR, VR in teaching and learning what concepts in mathematics or physics? We may not need to use AR, VR in every aspect, but how do we design the philosophy of teaching and learning using the technologies that we have is an important question.
His Majesty the King has envisioned a country that will enable us to explore and reach our full potentials, and in pursuit of that vision, we must strive to make use of our creativity and talent while upholding our integrity.
Tech is the new era. We all have to be really involved into technology because as the years go by, it's all about technology wherever you see. So I believe like every individual should be a part of this journey. And now I think even in schools, His Majesty has introduced this coding program and all, which is a very good initiative because, as I said, everyone has to be a part of this journey. Otherwise, few people cannot, really jump into this technical era. We have to be together in this. So yeah, I would appreciate everyone to do that.
Our resources are limited. Our resources should come from our brains. So ICT is something that we can sell to outside people and earn money out of it, like what we are doing within our company right now. So it's always important that we emphasize on that, because ICT is not something, a singular domain, like it's spread out so much that we can make experts out of it from different people.
What I think is, on the other studying curriculum activities, they should be adding, new systems to learn ICT, rather than not only, bookworming the students, like totally engrossed in the book, rather doing that one, doing more of a practical job, like introducing the system, new system, or whatever the equipments like other countries are using. It should be brought out to Bhutan and they should be introduced to the new brains.
We all know that we have a different era, right? We came from agriculture, then industrialization, and right now we are in a technological era. So we have to get advanced as and when other countries are also advancing, and everything is automated right now. Everything is, system-based, everything is done online because we have a good internet. So therefore I think it's really important that we move as per the how other countries are moving, and we cannot lay back, and we have to pick up our space.
Digitization, digitalization, ICTization, whatever we call it, gives us that power to bring more out of us, makes our lives more comfortable. It has its own cycle of economy that it develops, provides a lot of jobs. And jobs, I mean more from meaning of life, a job not from the perspective of sustainability or sustenance or thing, but more as a meaning of life, that you create something in your job and that gives a value to be getting up in the morning and doing something which helps societies. So from that perspective, ICT is so important as a part of technology. We are with the vision of moving forward, taking technology as a means of developing our country.
The Bhutanese are small in number, and while that can be seen as a challenge, it could also be our strength. Our united dedication and hard work can help us achieve the dream of a country that believes in advancing with the time and using technology to build the nation.